Hey everybody, Cutthroat Cure here from Advanced Maneuvers, bringing to you another honest product review. As usual, I'm joined by Nablis, and today we're going to be going over two token sets, one by Broken Egg Games and the other by Muse on Minis, in a much requested head-to-head battle between the two token sets. Of course, if you're interested in more information about either token set, we will be offering and presenting individual reviews on each set, but for this one we're just going to focus on the capabilities on the two faction token sets when put side by side. So here we go, guys. So here's the two packaging right off the bat. So as you can see, we have the Muse on Minis Troll Bloods tokens, because we all know that I'm a super big troll fan, and then we also have the Broken Egg Troll tokens. When we originally tried to do this video, it was corrupted due to an audio issue. So when we originally did it, we did have the Warmachine Crix versions, correct?
Yep.
That Nablis was nice enough to bring, but due to some audio issues, we're just going to focus on just the trolls today. So, getting right into it, let's talk about packaging. So, you know, you can definitely see that Muse on Minis has very bright packaging. You know what it is. You know where it's coming from. Very clear to see. This bag is absolutely jam-packed. Where you then have Broken Egg, who has this tin that they provide. It has a clear zone so you can see it, and they do come in a bag. Both companies, the acrylic has a little bit of a smell, but if you let it air out, it's not as bad. It's just a little off-putting at first. So, what are your thoughts on the packaging?
I mean, I can see the advantages of both of them, right? If you're selling this in a store, you know, you can get a lot of inventory hanging. But, you know, I'm kind of partial to the box. I like the idea of buying the case that's going to be carried.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's definitely something really well done, because this, you know, it's not the strongest thing in the world. And I will say that I've had a little bit of trouble getting everything back into the box, back in this bag, just because I wanted to give them a test run. But otherwise, I mean, for the most part, if it's not in this bag right here, everything fits, and you close it and you can throw that in your tray. So I think when it comes down to packaging in this head-to-head, I will definitely say that from a storefront potential, I think Muse on Minis definitely pulls the win on that from a storefront. But I think when it comes to you know, being a player and having a little bit of extra, I think Broken Egg just goes the extra mile and sneaks one out by including a case for us to put our stuff back into.
Yep, I like the case.
Yeah, it's good. So what are your first impressions looking at these? Because you've gotten to play with both sets of the Crix tokens. What were your first impressions with playing with these sets?
I think they're both colorful, and they're both very pretty and well put together. You know, and they, more importantly, they get the job done. I think it's going to come down a lot more to preference.
Yeah, so first impressions right off the bat, I mean, as you can see, we can already see right here, you have Calamity, which is one of Calandra's spells, and then over here, we've got Rage, which I will pull up right here. We have Rage right there with a little bit of the mountain, and that's good. So you can kind of see both. So let's get right into talking about the next part, and we're going to talk about availability. When it comes to first impressions, I will say that this is a lot better looking. You know, when I look at this right off the bat, if I were to look at these two on a storefront, just looking at them now, I'm going to have to say Muse on Minis kind of snags my eye a little bit, just because since they are not in the case, they're a lot easier to see.
Yeah, they're out there.
So I can move it around, and I can look at the different spells that are included. Now, of course, both companies offer a full list of every token that is included in these sets on their websites. So that's always good. But just looking at packages head-to-head, that's where I'm coming from.
Sure.
So let's talk about availability. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, currently you can only buy them off of their respective websites. So, I mean, I think their availability is about the same.
Yeah, I think they're completely tied across the board. Both of them are offered at most all the major conventions. So both Muse and Broken Egg have been at a lot of the conventions we've been to. They were at Nova. They're at Warmachine Weekend. So, I mean, they definitely piggyback off each other when it comes to the convention scene. So if you see one, usually you can see the other. Both of them were at the WTC. So even international people had a chance to meet the people, buy some stuff. But both of them are available online. So the availability of finding them in stores, unless a store really wants to snag them, currently, as far as I know, distribution centers don't carry either. So, you know, that might change in the future. But as of right now, you're looking at online or convention only. So let's get right into usability, because that's the bread and butter that people want to see. So let's pull these out, get rid of this stuff, and we're going to bring the camera a little bit closer so that you can see. Grab the feet token out of here. And we're just going to pull a few so that you all can see it. So as you're pulling these out of the bags, what are your thoughts?
Well, my first thought is size, right? So I see your Vengeance token. Let me see if I can find mine. And like I said, I think it's going to come down to preference, really. Do you want to have your everything easy for everyone to see, or do you just need to keep track of it yourself? Because you know, Vengeance for the Muse is considerably smaller than.
Yeah, so I mean, right here you can see the feet tokens for both. So we have this is the Broken Egg Games feet token, which has some whelps on top of Rathrok that says feet. And then over here on Muse on Minis, we have a horn with a lot of rune stones that says feet. So, I mean, both of the feet tokens are absolutely beautiful. They look really, really good. I think the real usability comes down into when you get into the smaller items. So, right off the bat, you can see that if we were to compare Fury tokens, so there's a Fury token for Broken Egg Games, and the Fury tokens for Muse on Minis are these little barrels. Now, I like the barrels. I think they're really cute. I think they look cool.
They're very thematic. Yep.
Yeah. Where
I like the symbol on the Fury personally.
Yeah, that's definitely something that Broken Egg Games pulled out, is that they are officially sponsored by Privateer Press to sell their materials. So all of the logos and artwork that has like the Troll Blood symbols and such are sanctioned by Privateer Press. So that is something that you are going to get with Broken Egg Games.
Yeah. But on the downside, though, if you're on clock and you're in a hurry and you're just dropping tokens, you know, you can see these on both sides. It's backwards, but it still gets the point across, where these are black.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Definitely, if I was coming around and I'm just trying to quickly, and I'm on death clock and I'm throwing down something, I mean, if that goes the wrong way, I now have to take another second to make sure I flip it back over. Is that a huge issue?
Maybe not, but maybe.
Yeah, so I definitely think that when it comes to usability, Muse on Minis really did a good job by making sure that it was double-sided. And the cool part is not only is it double-sided, but it's double-sided mirror image. So when I flip this over, it's not backwards. It still says feet. If I flip it over again, still says feet. So I think that was something that took a lot of thinking and was a really good play on Muse's part. So when it comes to usability, I think as Nablis said, it really comes down to your preference. You can, you're going to get bigger wording when it comes to Broken Egg games like Blood Fury, where with Muse, you know, the wording's a little bit harder to see.
Well, with Muse, you get function. You get function. With Broken Eggs, you're getting style. So it really is your preference. They're both beautiful. They're both going to improve your game. And it's just basically choice. I mean, if you're really art driven, because the art on this is just breathtaking, you know, that's probably going to drive some decisions. It's going to be the art, the style. But if function, that's your goal, you're in a tournament scene, you're just throwing tokens down to represent your status effects, the Muse on Minis are perfect.
Yeah, and I mean, and it mainly comes down to the fact that they double this double side. You know, no matter how I throw that down, you can read
Well,
it.
and the size too, right? The size, like this isn't taking up much room on the board, and you're moving models around. You don't want stuff getting in the way. That's definitely function.
Yeah, especially when you bring up the two Vengeance right here, and you look at these. I mean,
For some perspective.
let's put that behind him. So not that the Mauler here has Vengeance, but if you look at it, you know, there's a considerable difference in the sizing. So this is about the size of a small base, where this is about half the size of a small base. So,
Yep. And I have these have gotten in the way. You know, they've definitely been,
that being the Broken Egg Games ones.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk. So, as I said, both of them have their benefits. I will definitely say when it comes to straight out of the bag usability, you're playing, you know, you're not trying to look beautiful. Muse on Minis takes the head-to-head to that.
Absolutely. If you're pulling tokens in between games and you don't have your caster's tokens already ready, these are going to be a lot easier to pull out, right? Because you can see them on both sides. You're just going to grab your tokens and run.
And I mean, and if you're looking for a fun game that looks good and you want to be able to read your stuff from far away, because as you can see, even in this video, you look at Blood Fury and you look at, you know, Vengeance here, you can definitely read Blood Fury 100%. So that's definitely good from a player standpoint.
Or if I was doing battle reports,
Yeah.
you know, I would want to go.
So Broken Egg has a really good thing when it comes to battle reports like that. Now, let's go into aesthetic. And, you know, and so let's remove the Mauler here and go right into it. So, aesthetically, what are your thoughts?
Aesthetic, you know, I think Broken Eggs went all in on aesthetic. I think Muse on Mini is more on function. They're very thematic, and they look great, but the aesthetics, the Broken Eggs just takes the cake.
Yeah, definitely when you're looking at these two, so I'm going to bring it up closer. So when you look at these two, once again, you have the feet token by Muse here, and it looks good. There's nothing wrong with this token. But when you look at the horn with some rune stones that says feet, and then you look at, you know, two whelps that are holding onto Wrathrock that's over a stone that says feet, like, this is more artistic. This is the more beautiful of the two tokens.
Yes. I definitely think Broken Eggs has the aesthetic, and I think Muse has the functionality. I think you're not going to go wrong with either set. It's going to be a good investment.
I agree with you 100%. So let's talk some of the cons about both sets. So when talking about, what would you say is the biggest con with either set, since you've gotten to use them a lot more?
So being in some of the tournament scene, I've actually talked to people about the Broken Egg tokens. The biggest complaint I have on them is you can find tokens that'll have damage on the back. There'll be spots that'll be tore. Now, it's not as hard to see, but you know, it is a little annoying that you have a token that is that absolutely beautiful, and then it's damaged on the back, and it came that way out of the box, you know.
And you saw this a lot with your Crix tokens.
Yeah, I saw a lot with the Crix tokens. Someone in the tournament scene, they had the same issue with their circle tokens. You know, if I had to do it, I'd still buy them. You know, they're that pretty. But you know, we've looked at a number of these, and I've not seen any damaged or any quality issues at all. So,
on the
Muse. Yeah, the Muse are flawless.
Yeah. So one of the biggest complaints that we have seen now, thankfully, on the set that we're showing you today, the Trollblood set, I have not found any of those blemishes.
Yep.
So it could have been just a bad original set, and it was something that was brought up to Broken Egg Games, and something that they were going to look into concerning the quality on that one set, because it just might have been a bad batch. Now, when it comes to the troll tokens I have, as I said, I have not found any blemishes or spots on it, but you can see a few, if you look at this token, and you look at the right angle right there, you can see those little spots that are right there. Those are possible bubbles. And the issue that could come with that possible bubble is that if I hit it in such a manner, maybe off a model or something, there is a possibility that that's going to scratch that beautiful artwork off. Now, I haven't done it myself with these yet, but I haven't really gotten to use them a lot. So that is something to, you know going into this token set?
Well, I think it was probably something during the manufacturing process, because I've seen people take keys and scratch these, and they're pretty adorable. I'm not brave enough to do that, but
I know I had taken an X-Acto knife, so let's just play around with this, and I'm just going to grab a pair of tweezers here, and they're pretty pointed, and I'm going to flip over not the beautiful one, but let's just take this one right here, and I'm just going to scratch it. Here we go. And you can see that I just scratched it, and even scratching it, there's a little bit of a mark there, but it's not affecting the artwork on the other side. Now, had you done these with your Crick set, it would have definitely been taking the art off the other side. So it looks like Broken Egg Games maybe kicked up their game when they came out with the Troll set, so that's very good, and so they may have figured some things out, since manufacturing can be kind of an issue. Now, that is something you're not going to have to worry about with Muse. Muse is acrylic on both sides, so they actually are hard. So since they have that, I can sit here and scratch the living God. And as you can see, I'm doing it over my feet one, which I was not willing to do on the Broken Egg Games. So once again, coming back to your earlier point, they're very, very functionable. You know, these are going to last you a while. I'm not saying that the Broken Egg Games ones are not, but these ones may not look as beautiful, and these ones may not have as large words or, you know, grand art, but they definitely seem to be like they're going to last.
well, even with the Crix tokens, you know, the ones that are damaged, like it's not spreading, like it's still on there relatively good. So I think it was a problem during the manufacturing, so they're still pretty durable.
Yeah, so you know, when it comes to aesthetics, definitely I believe the Broken Egg game takes the prettier tokens overall. So if you're looking for a set of tokens that are absolutely beautiful and look really cool from across the board and really catch people's eyes, then you want to definitely go Broken Egg. If you know, if that's not something that you are interested in at all, both sets are a good choice.
Yeah, you're not going to go wrong with either one.
So let's get into the last bit of this. So let's talk about the price point, because let's be honest, anybody who's playing this game, you know, is already spending a ton of money going into models and stuff. What are they going to spend on tokens? So let's talk about how much Broken Egg Games comes in at. So
$65?
Yep. So $65 for the set, which comes with the tin we originally showed you, 33 of the Fury tokens, and a bag full of goodies that are just absolutely beautiful. So as you saw the feet token, and like here's another thing. So I mean, they're definitely very bright, very colorful, easy to read, grand tokens. So $65.
Yep. Each of the different types of tokens has its own shape, so they're easier to sort and find what you're looking for.
Yeah, and they all have like little images. So for a prime example is like any of your animi that you're getting off your full-blooded trolls or light trolls. They have this like fist here. So you can see, so like here's a rage token, and you can definitely see the troll open fist holding a rock. So you know anytime you need an animi, that's the design to look for.
Yeah, it's very stylized.
So let's go on to Muse. So Muse's price point comes in at
$50.
So it is cheaper.
It is cheaper.
Now, once again, for that cheaper price point, you're not getting the box that you get with Broken Egg Games.
But is the box worth $15?
That's a question you got to ask yourself.
Yep.
So, I mean, when it really comes down to it, all in all, as we said, Broken Egg Games, $65. Muse on minis is $50. Now, that doesn't include shipping. And so maybe if you're packaging this with something else, that might be something you want to look at or check into. Of course, both companies offer, you know, if you purchase a minimum of X dollars, they do provide free shipping. And of course, you don't have to pay shipping if you meet them at a convention.
Yep.
So all in all, I hate saying this because it's so cliche, but I don't really feel like there's a clear winner.
I think the clear winner is always going to come down to that individual person. So they're going to have to make a decision. What is it that's going to drive me to buy these? Is it artistic? Is it style? And if it is, am I willing to pay $15 surplus? Or do I care more about the models in the game and I just want to illustrate the status effects that are on the board? I'm more concerned about function than, you're going to go with the Muse on minis, because I kind of feel that they're just maybe a little bit above Broken Egg, even though I bought the Broken Egg. Muse on Mini is definitely a solid tokens.
Yeah, and they definitely look good. Personally, for myself, since I do play in tournaments, but I don't play tournaments all the time. It's not like a thing I'm like blasting these out all the time. And being a hobbyist myself, I have to say that I'm drawn more towards the Broken Egg tokens, and that's only because of the fact of I love the artwork. Now, and I'm not, and I can't say I wasn't slighted by the fact that luckily with my set I didn't get many blemishes.
Yeah.
So, all in all, I think both sets are absolutely fantastic, and hopefully this review gives you a little idea of what both sets offer. Once again, if you're interested in finding out more about either set, please check out our upcoming videos where we will do a review focusing on each set respectfully. So, Nablus, I want to thank you for helping me today.
No, it's always fun.
And thank you all for watching, and hopefully this honest review gave you a few insights into a product